So tell me a little bit more about version 2 and what you're doing now. And I know that you have a really interesting strategy as far as pre-selling the product even before launch. So I'm going to get into that also a little bit. But so tell me about V2, what the additional features are. You said it's launching September 22nd. So how you're sort of
23rd.
working 23rd. So how you're working up to that.
Yeah, I mean, for us, what we were looking at is that we wanted to add some additional capital to give us additional resources and dry powder going into this launch so that we can really accelerate quickly. We know that we've got a first mover advantage here. We want to take advantage of that. Our goal is really in the next 12 months to become an industry standard as quickly as possible. So with us raising capital, especially in the middle of COVID, these are lessons that we actually were lucky enough to learn from our advisors at our first launch. So we did the same thing you're alluding to, and I'll get that in a sec, which is that we saw that investors look at us and say, look, you're not launched. I don't want to invest until you've launched. Okay, well, how can we de-risk this? Well, we've been pre-selling. Pre-sales don't mean a thing. You can have somebody sign up with an email and a name, like that doesn't do much for you.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, we pushed harder and said on our users, well, we actually want your credit card. We're not going to charge you any money. And we're very clear writing if any of the loan officers have signed up and managers can see we're not charging you until launch, and we're not even charging you at launch. We're going to give you a free trial. For us, it's only 7 days because we know that lenders and loan officers very quickly decide whether the product works. And if it works, they're good. If it doesn't work, it's a little more difficult to get them back. So that's why we've taken so long to get to this launch, is to make sure all the features were there, they work properly, and that we've got a really good launch product. So yeah, we've got credit cards in hand, not only their names and contact information, but even their entire staff that we're going to be onboarding as well. And then we've also get from them what lenders they work with, we get what third parties they work with. So you get quite a bit of data, which is very valuable also for our focus on future features and channel partnerships and expanding the product from there.
Fantastic. And we're not talking about 5 or 10 people. We're talking about several hundreds of people that you have in your essentially, right, pre-sale list, and you'll give them a 7-day free trial. Now, are these people also involved in the sort of the product development process? Have you shared sort of screenshots or basic functionality with them just to get their feedback and see if you are on the right track?
Absolutely. So the way that we did it was, we started with our initial user base on the original product, made sure that they knew what we were doing, were involved in the product development of this V2 of the product, and said, look, if we were to sunset the old product and use this instead, are you willing to continue paying? What features are missing, if anything? So they were very instrumental in getting to what we built. Then we went through and we had people who were waitlisted too. Those people, include them also in the conversation. Now, since then, we've also started adding on new people. So actually, the cold calling, the marketing, funnel marketing, all this such, and have been growing about 50% month over month the last couple months to get to where we are today. And I think that's what's really interesting, is that we've been able to, by showing them what we're building, how it works, screenshots, everything, and really getting them to see it in their mind what's going to be live at the end of September, and then get them to say, yes, I want that. I will put my credit card down. I will agree to the contract, and I'll even give you all the rest of our users. I think that's pretty powerful.
Right.
I can't do much more to de-risk it until launch. I think that, with our raise, we also priced ourselves fairly aggressively to make sure that there was less friction for that as well. Now, post-launch, once we've realized that revenue, that's why we've saved a last tranche of the round to be raised at a higher valuation based off of the revenue that we will have realized at that point. And we expect to close that out really early in November, once we've shown the September revenue, the October renewals, and now we're into November. we see it hopefully going very quickly at that.
Fantastic. Yeah. And yeah, that's such a great strategy, even for investors, where, okay, you can sign up just before or just after the launch, and just before you'll get a slightly better deal than just after. And that's such a smart way of sort of playing that. And I think I just realized that September 23rd, 7-day free trial. So the first billing date is essentially October 1st.
For us, it's actually the 30th is when they will get charged.
Okay, got
and
it.
For us, we've got our system set up where usually we do everything in a batch bulk to our banking account, so we could show it on our P&L, our balance sheet, and profit and loss. And then that allows us to show September, then October, end of October, we'll be able to show on the 31st, again, leading into November.
Fantastic. Okay. So for the investors that are listening, we'll have the financial models and everything in the deal room, so they can certainly either get in touch with me or get in touch with you directly and go through that. But just sort of high level, I want to get a sense of where your revenue is, what that V2 launch looks like. So are we talking about 50% increase? Are we talking about 2x? And where you expect to go by end of 2020 and then 2021? Give us sort of a sense of what that progression looks like.